Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving straight into that, high-stakes chess game that is NFL offseason strategy.
Yeah, it really
Our
is.
playbook. Well, it's insights from a recent YouTube video. NFL Live Colts find last piece for Anthony Richardson by draftee Tyler Warren. Marcus Spears.
From Confavum K.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So think of this as your fast track to understanding how teams are positioning themselves for the season ahead. We're really focusing on player development, team strategies, and, well, the big one, how do you beat the Kansas City Chiefs?
It's the question everyone's asking. And what's interesting is just how different the approaches are.
Absolutely. The situations we'll look at today, like the Packers receiver issues, the Colts investing in help for Anthony Richardson.
It really highlights the challenges, the key decisions shaping the AFC right now.
Okay, so let's kick things off in Green Bay. There's definitely some buzz around their receivers. We've got good news on Christian Watson, recovering from that ACL tear late last season.
Yeah, the reports are positive. No timetable exactly, but no setbacks, which is key.
Right, and he's apparently said himself he's feeling good, progressing well.
Which is great news for them, obviously. But, we have to remember last season, it wasn't just injuries.
What do you mean?
Well, their receivers as a group had 25 drops. That's 6 more than the next closest team.
Wow, 25.
Yeah. And they were outside the top 20 in reception percentage and total catches. So, yeah, injuries like Watson's were a factor, but
But there's a bigger issue with just, reliable hands.
exactly. It wasn't just about guys being out. It was about consistency when they were in.
Okay, so that first-round pick,
Yeah.
Golden, their first receiver that high since, 2002. That makes a lot more sense then. They need that speed, that explosiveness.
Precisely. They're clearly trying to inject that into the offense. And strategically, it fits their quarterback's skill set, someone who wants to push the ball downfield.
Needs guys who can get open and make plays.
You got it. Give him those targets he can rely on.
All right, let's switch gears. Indianapolis Colts. Their first-rounder, tight end Tyler Warren from Penn State. The buzz around this guy is pretty loud.
Oh, yeah. Head coach Shane Steichen is practically glowing, said he can catch, run, do it all. Even joked about putting him on defense.
Okay, maybe not defense, but the praise is almost universal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, longtime scout Chad Henry calling him highly intelligent.
Yeah, and saying he saw the former quarterback in him, how he processes the game. Sounded like a coach at the combine, apparently.
And he used the word unicorn. That tells you something.
It really does. Someone who can just do, well, basically everything you ask of a tight end, and maybe more. It's rare.
And the comparisons are pretty lofty, too. Marcus Spears mentioned George Kittle. That's high praise, focusing on the physicality and the receiving.
It is. Kittle's impact is huge. So, yeah, big expectations. But let's dig into what this really means for Anthony Richardson.
Right, their young QB. This feels like a pivotal year for him. How does Warren help?
Well, a good tight end can be a young quarterback's best friend. He gives you that ease of travel, like the source mentioned, those reliable targets.
Building trust.
Exactly, working those tough spots over the middle, contested areas, and Warren's size, his ability after the catch that creates mismatches.
Big time. Against safeties, linebackers.
Yeah, he can win those matchups. And it feels like strategically, this pick is aimed squarely at helping Richardson develop his intermediate game.
Okay. So defenses can't just sit back and only worry about the deep ball from Richardson.
Precisely. If he can consistently hit Warren on those shorter, medium routes, move the chains,
Yeah.
it forces defenses to play him more honestly. Warren gives him that reliable option there.
Makes sense. But the source material also brought up something interesting. Maybe a question about how much the Colts really believe in Richardson as a passer.
Yeah, that was a point raised. Bringing in Daniel Jones, having Riley Leonard there too, even though Leonard barely threw in college.
It does feel like a bit of hedging, maybe.
Yeah.
Usually, you don't see quite that much activity around a guy drafted so high just a year or two before.
Well, it just underlines how much pressure there is on young QBs to perform consistently, right? And to process things quickly. Athleticism is great. Richardson has tons of it, but
you need the processing, the decision-making, the accuracy under pressure. Sustained success depends on it.
exactly. That's the hurdle for all young quarterbacks.
Okay, let's zoom out a bit then. Look at the whole AFC. Everyone's trying to figure out how to knock off the Chiefs. Their run has just been incredible.
7 straight AFC championship games, 5 Super Bowls, 3 straight appearances recently. It's remarkable consistency.
And last year's Super Bowl trip was kind of surprising in a way, wasn't it? Offense wasn't maybe their most dominant ever.
Right. Statistically more middle of the road, as the source put it. They really leaned on that defense, kept teams under 20 points consistently.
And they just found ways to win close games. 11-0 and one-score games, was it?
Yeah, 11-0, just clutch performances when they needed them. Shows resilience, but maybe not a formula you want to rely on every year.
So how are the other contenders reacting this offseason? What are the strategies? We saw Buffalo and Baltimore really load up on defense.
Definitely. The Bills grabbing Joey Bosa, both teams using early picks on D. The Ravens got Mike Green, the FBS sack leader, a clear focus
We're
there.
going to build something that can actually slow down Mahomes.
Seems like it. Then you have the other side of the coin. Look at Cincinnati.
Right. Bengals doubling down on offense, locked up Chase and Higgins long term. Those guys put up huge numbers.
Massive production. And the Chargers seem to be leaning offense too, drafting skill guys early like Marshawn Lloyd, picking up Najee Harris.
So it really sets up this fascinating question, doesn't it? What's a better way to beat the Chiefs? Option A, go all in trying to stop Mahomes.
Or option B, just try to build an offense that can outgun them, put up 40 points if you have to.
Which way does the expert analysis lean?
Well, the perspective in our source material, Tim's opinion, leaned towards defense being the more sustainable path, long-term key.
Even with the Chiefs likely improving their offense.
Yeah. The thinking is Mahomes is Mahomes. He's the constant threat. And history, like Tampa Bay or Philly beating them in the Super Bowl.
Both had really strong defensive fronts that got pressure.
Exactly. Pressure Mahomes, force mistakes. That was seen as the key takeaway from those games. Disrupting him is maybe more reliable than trying to just score more points every single week.
Interesting. Okay, so from the Chiefs' side, how are they feeling about all this maneuvering by their rivals?
Well, the word is they feel very good about their own offseason, though, there are still acknowledged questions about the offensive line, even with the additions they made.
They need to protect the golden goose.
Absolutely. And they know they can't just rely on winning those nail-biters again. They want more separation. Getting Rice back eventually, adding Hollywood Brown, that's expected to help the offense find more explosive plays.
And having those quick, reliable options for Mahomes is still crucial too, right? They mentioned Richie James.
Yeah, guys who can get open fast underneath. It's all part of protecting Mahomes and keeping the chains moving efficiently.
Okay, so let's try and tie this all together. The AFC is definitely buzzing. Teams are trying different formulas. For the Packers, getting Watson back healthy and having that rookie receiver hit the ground running seems vital.
Huge for their passing game. And for the Colts, well, they're banking on Tyler Warren being a major piece for Anthony Richardson's development.
Though those questions about the QB room overall still linger a bit.
They do add some intrigue, yeah. And then, the big picture, challenging the Chiefs. It seems the prevailing wisdom, at least from what we looked at, leans towards building a defense that can genuinely disrupt Patrick Mahomes.
Even while knowing you still need plenty of offensive firepower yourself. It's not either, maybe, but an emphasis.
Right. It's about finding that balance, but maybe tilting towards disrupting the truly exceptional player. It's a compelling strategic tension.
It really is. Which brings us to a final thought for you, our listeners, to chew on. We've seen these different strategies stack the defense versus build an offensive juggernaut. Which approach do you think actually provides a more sustainable path to long-term success in today's NFL? Especially when you're staring down a QB like Mahomes.
Is it better to focus on containing that kind of greatness?
Or do you try to build something so powerful offensively that you can just consistently outscore anyone, even the Chiefs? Something to think about as we head towards the season. Thanks for taking the deep dive with us.